and right. This is sound basically. If anything happens to me, this is sound. It's not by me. This is dated Wednesday, 22nd of night, 2021. And if you don't know what type of individuals are, there's a website above. Go and research mknuntra, the Monet program, and you go and research the, unfortunately, dark occult, which is Freemasonry, the cults who are using in England, in my area, again. I found some old documents of 2017 where I had a heart attack stroke. In the UK, it's unlawful to do this with anyone with physical disabilities. So that's what I have. I use a wheelchair, and when I got run over 2019, sorry, correction, 2009, as soon as I've moved in it. Stuart Flat 2, he knows what's been going on for years. I didn't know I was a targeted individual until 2018. So everything that's been going on for so long, more prominently since I've been here over 10 years now as geotender, and all of the knowledge I know in my lawful rights has been completely overridden. The times we're living in now worldwide, they're just coming after people that has any awakened knowledge of truth or facts, first-hand knowledge. They don't care, they have one agenda, the biggest agenda around here, Agenda 2030, Agenda 2050 now. And you always need to dig up and research that to protect yourselves. Civil unrest is absolutely off the charts. The guardian angels are around us. Faith, prayers, and blessings, all those going through it. I am too. Radiation is off the charts. The 5G effects are in my body, my ears, is off the charts. I'm very, very sick, very poorly. Not with, you know what, just the effect on my physical body. You know, the radiation, the what they're doing. I can't even, you know, all my incoming connections are blocked. A lot of the outgoing connections of the main connection of my internet's been watched and hacked into. Phone, this phone as well. Every device I might have is being rerouted. It's pure luck that this is live, but it's not getting the usual people I know that are coming. But anyway, I have lawfully counterclaimed against these agents working for this UK housing company, especially this area, and they all work online anyway now, because they use my flat. Get this, I can sue the man himself commercially process for the CEO of the company for negligence, for harm, loss, etc., and causing it onto my health. And I found the old documents, as I said. I now know, I didn't know in 2017 about gas army and targeted subject, nothing of that, only certain subjects I know about law. I'd always wondered why everything I did didn't work. I know now why, of course, but it does not matter. This is not the practical side. Yeah, I can't just, the discreditation to make up false reports about my private life, my health care, housing, to individuals that might not be aware of the targeted program. And you cannot talk about it in certain aspects, that what's really going on. Others in other countries may be able to do that and put themselves on camera. I found an old video 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, I made, where I didn't know at the time all this was future, obviously, here now, was going to happen. And in the practical sense, I've got all these reports. A particular one to confirm that agents working for public companies funded for disabled people adult healthcare was malpractice. Yeah, failed me, and others, not just me, because they went bankrupt, and it was all over mainstream media in the UK. So of course, offer new services, business services, what that meant to be like. So everything I was being offered, it wasn't lawful, and so all my counterclaim offers, any rejection was only because of that. But in the eyes of these employees, agents working for the housing company, just see that, or they don't want to know. They're the one that set me up in the first place with them. So I didn't know that how your body can be used to be experimented on. Advanced, the series of advanced technology. I learned a hell of a lot in this space of a short time now, and with others that's going through this for years. So, and I didn't know this is hereditary. I didn't know the mknuntra worked for my late mum. Now my brothers and sisters, and obviously me. I don't. They isolate you. So they lie about you and they falsify records. So I don't know what the hell they said to my family members, but no, they've never been around. So I've tried to look at options before UK and the worldwide lockdowns to move carefully without affecting me financially. What could be available in my circumstances? But unfortunately, the approach over a period of leading up to 2020 rejected me to be considered. It was like specialist type housing, wheelchair access, um, a new care company, maybe, depending on what the terms and conditions are. And it has to be the certain locations because of my personal needs. In that regard, the healthcare, and now it's all digital. It's all gone. The digital system is all gone. I put the wrong date. It's meant to be 2017. Anyway, the negativity. Long time ago, in the old channel I found, I didn't even know years ago, how people are watched for a long time before you're put on a list and targeted. And the advanced technology is what you just can't make it up who is involved in the targeting and the subjects and interlinked, and they're all companies, public funded, but a lot of these have sold their souls out and they turn it right. They're corrupt, you know. Not saying everyone works in public sector is that, but a lot of them are. especially in the higher rank, higher job level titles, So they're using me and my flat for an excuse, and it's always been this way, to kill me off, literally, to do it in such a way. I found out, I can't mention where the sources are on this platform, an ex-funeral director based in a town nearby me in UK had come out. It's all over different social media platforms that two families where I live, unfortunately, I know these certain well-known public servants for many years, and when they got up into their job level, it's because of this, and they're very well trained. If you ever know anything about Jewish Freemasonry, the occultists, Luciferian agendas, you'll soon work out it's interconnected in bloodline families, right? So if you don't know anything about the God gene, faith, etc., I've only just learned some things on that subject. It's interlinked, and the dark times we're living. I never thought my birthday, at the end of this week, I would be alive to see all this, not just me, but other people going through so much themselves too. But the world, it's like the whole world's a stage, and all this has been by design. And the documents I found the other day confirming all this, of a particular website, a very old documents, planned all this a long time ago. So I'm in the way, aren't I? And they've got to get rid of me. And how can they do that without it looking too suspicious? Is to force me into, there isn't any care per se, they ruined the industry. So I'm safe with my private life friends, but the constant 24 hours surveillance is just ridiculous. And so, in a way, what they're testing out in Australia is what is coming here in England very quickly. They built already a massive camp style. There's not a new prison at all. That's what they played it off to the public. It's for those that won't take the offer, you know what. And of course, when they want to put a label on there again, I had a really bad dental infection in March 2017, and that's when they lied. This is such, like, you would think it's like a movie and like a Truman Show, because it's so many corporations and their agents, public and private, entwined working together on this agenda, not just on me, others like me as well. But in England, there isn't any really they don't want you to network, support. Different countries might be. They put police reformers, the housing are part of it all, because they get the rent, don't they? The company gets paid to put a perpetrator in the flats around them. I can't make this up what's going on. So I didn't know, as I said, since I moved in, a certain male I've known for so long, a lorry driver I used to be, used to do all sorts of things I wasn't going to. He got away with. And I witnessed a lot of things he did, and I had no clue he had lived here, but I ended up there. And I had my old house broken into, and that was not deliberately, that was like, how was I meant to know that situation growing up was planned? How was I to know that I'd be displaced into really bad accommodation, temporary? How was I to know all this was pre-organised? I had two beautiful cats when I moved here. I had no time to move from the old house. I'm glad I left, but I could have bought that house for 20 grand at the time. And years ago, when I sustained horrific trauma-based mind control again, that guy was demonic. So that attack, all these years, they knew it's going to happen. So that's how deep and the historic events in my life. And it's not a coincidence. It's all pre-entwined with MKUltra and Money program. And it's a bit like me being Manchurian candidate, So, I mean, implants technology. I mean, all of this sounds like a sci-fi movie, but it's all real. So, but the industry is built in such tight knit with layers after layers of protection that all links back to the monetary system in the Vatican and deeper than that. And there's a lot of dark stuff that goes on, which I don't despise, others do, I don't. I've never, ever been a whistleblower. So they just want to single me out of my flat as a public health concern. Yeah, at this stage, never heard that. And so nobody else around here gets this, what I'm going through. So targeted program gaslighting is all part of it, psychological tactics. So I'm gonna I've got an audio in the background, evidence of the frequencies picked up. Voice for purpose, empowerment and survival. So I think somebody on somebody in Ireland come back to the for a while ago. This is trying out. Here it is, just correct. So this is notice to agent, notice to principal, notice to principal, notice to agent. Condition acceptance offer and counterclaim offer, rejection of offer without dishonour. When you know these terminologies, Latin and words and certain terminology. And you know how to do documents that do use evidence, rebuttals, assumption, presumption, pre-made. It doesn't go nowhere. You can do what you want, it still doesn't get nowhere. And when I've been trying to get access to my housing data, GDPR in England, data access, your own data. So therefore, I've denied them private of access, but again, they return that with a heavy-handed powers that be to put labels on me that's not even awful or factual, but they get the backing of their demonic connections and the Freemasonry links, and they sold their souls out to the dark side a long time ago by doing that. When they tried all this on, I did 9 documents to the head of CEO's public funded in May, June 2017 at the time. So they had to do something else. So if you don't know what home invasions are, which I didn't know about at the time, somebody got into my home and did damage to my bathroom. It's meant to be a wet room for disabled people, and I had no clue. What I know now, of course, at the time, and somebody had got a knife and split the floor liner by the shower area, and it started leaking water underneath. So I just thought it was a repair that would be simple to be done. No, they knew what they were going to do all along. They're ripping up the liner, covering the floor, and found the whole wood is black watered floorboards. And I was informed that all I need to do is replace the floorboards and nothing else. Okay, is required. Tiles are fine. It's just that part of the floor. But no, I had no clue either. By implying it could be done in 3 days in the afternoon, time slots, all the evidence, paperwork, emails, I've got paper trail about all this. I'm going on for too long. I found out, long story short, that the company hired their agents, repair department maintenance, asset maintenance repair side of it all, and then connections were deliberately told not to repair before and to leave it. I wasn't told that, and instead, shock, they timed it to send a surveyor, they called it, but he was already planned to deliberately just pretend that they're going to do something, and they never were. And he was, it was like anyone else around here for something like that would have been done, but no, for me, it was delayed again. There's a history of this, and when there was like an upgrade for anything, kitchens, that kind of thing, I was the only one left out in 2013. No upgrade to my kitchen units, and when I inquired why, oh, we didn't know you were a disabled woman in a wheelchair. What's that got to do with it? Yeah, and if I'd known about the planned works in that regard, so all the other flats around here got the upgrades, and I didn't. So it makes it worse. Yeah. Uh, so, and then at the time, when I got run over and ended up in a wheelchair, I got reports, I got my data to confirm there's 9 people witnessed the car jump the curb. I was standing on at the time, all that time ago, just after I moved in. It's no coincidence all this has happened. Just all together. It's done deliberately. Didn't know it at the time, you know. But you do when you keep journals and dates and writing, you know. And you go back on the journals and connect the dots. And that car come out of nowhere, spun around the corner. The back wheel ran over my left ankle, one flat back on the concrete floor in the road. Hit my head, my spine was injured. Black and blue sort of thing. And ever since, if I get too much stress, it's what they like to do on me. Then triggers, I end up with a heart attack and stroke. And the last time I was told I'll have another one, I won't recover. This is why they're putting the pressure on me, what I'm doing now. So that could happen. So with the technology on top, which I know about now more, That's what they're trying to do into my heart. They're doing prostate. You know, the electrical technology, the I'm not expert in the technology side, the brain interface, and much more. And the frequency is what they do. It's really is demonic. So I just keep them calm and spiritual, my beliefs, and one thing at a time. Because if you have your vibrate, the energy, if you have your energy around you really negative, these demonic entities feed off that. So it doesn't help being run down and not well physically. And so you just got to keep resting up best you can, which is a pain because it's just can't function. You know, things I need to do, I can't respond back to people. I can't, you know, I haven't physically got the strength. So um, I have the physical part. Psychologically, I'll get by. I know it's a game. It's just a demonic game, and I'm same as anyone. But I just know that is demonic. It is all being part. It's all being written in the scriptures and in history. All this coming to a head. So I've always been able to keep a level head and to be balanced in that way. But they like to put labels on me that I'm not. This is just so sad that so many people are homeless. So many people are living at cars, and worldwide people are going financially, practically. If I could just get a backpack, if I could just do certain things, I would just, I wouldn't wear how to hire, I can't even hire a van, you know, to put everything boxed up safely and put in storage. I mean, I've been trying to do this over a year because the targeting, they make sure that company you approach, for example, they get to them eventually and they lie about you and they get cut off to assist you anyway. It's with anything. It's not just bad luck, it's with anything. So, um, yeah. Um, so, what they, housing part, go back to that, what they had tried to do beginning 2017 didn't work, so they did this home invasion July 2017. Then August, I was meant to have the repairs done for a 3-day period after from 12:30 plus when I'm decent and cared for in my wheelchair. And they ignored all that and they instead sent the bloke round to do a survey of the waiting room. I said, well, hold on. I wasn't told you just here to do that. It's meant to be repaired. And when they sent somebody round to, I was told by email, it will be to lift the floorboards up and put some new ones down. Quite a straightforward job of carpentry. And no, he said, oh, I'm not here for that. I'm just here to measure up. Well, that was untrue. So when I called up to inquire, I said, you can't leave this like this. So one guy, an emergency call out at that same night, turns up and all he did was drilled down a piece of plywood on the washing floor. And that's what it's been left like ever since. So it doesn't help. And I can see it from other people's point of view. It doesn't help I'm left to live like this. I know that. And but it doesn't help on top now with the world health crisis, you know what I mean? Especially in this area where everything's changed. Um, there's no way moving forward in the correct lawful due process. And I know my Lord, my Saviour, Joshua, will guide and protect me. But to move forward, there isn't anywhere to go. by choice and freedom of choice and safely. And that's what they want. They want to control it, but I end up by force and cohesion and lawfully. And I'll be force medicated, a label put on me, and deprived of my God-given natural and legal rights completely. So whatever you powers that be do to me physically on this earth, my soul, you can't take that away from me. It belongs to another. I'm not giving up just like that, but I'm always will be lawful and honourable because it's about also forgiveness. And as I'm saying that, they do the silence outside. That do it so loud in the area I live, and then they turn them off to the past. It's called gang stalking, the psychological tactic. Yeah, so yeah, it's just a lot because I know I'm not the only one, you see, because you can't just look at my situation like from just one point of view. One subject is a mixture. And when I got this report 2019, oh my gosh, these agents from back in March 2017 throughout that year lied all over again about me, about my health, private life, housing, care, etc., to cover themselves. I found out prior to 2017, before I moved here, I had a knee operation that didn't work. So the first offer of personal care I ever knew about that was 2008. And that was very, very, very difficult. Coping recovery of that and my aids on the old house. And then having to be like temporary accommodation. And I found out who, since that date to date, 2021, long time, this particular woman called Kate, she is in the same, well, not in the same job, but same company. And she now heads head of a certain department with adult safeguarding. She was a certain other department, and her connections, when you dig up research, find out who these people are connected with. And that's what it's always been about. Because I'm in my MIT program, MK Ultra, it's always been about anything happened to me, I report lawfully. Robbed in the street, my wheelchair, physical assault, common law assault, you name it, everything went on, I report it. Nothing would get done. And when I got one over, nothing got done. It was a clear example, I know now, of course, because it's all linked. The program has to be like carefully linked together. So you got the housing, you got the health, you got the financial, got a bit of everything mixed together, but they do it in such really orchestrated way. So if one speaks out about certain subjects, oh, you're just making it up. You know, if anyone doesn't know about keeping a journal, paper, dates, times, you know, you build out a pattern of evidence gathering and factual, so you can do that as a resource to look back on it. I've been writing like that since I was 16. So when my late mum at the time, her church, her and the church friends come to my hospital. Well, was taken eventually, you know, very quickly actually. I got one over. The public servant, the police, come to the bedside and blame me straight away for the accident. What? And I'm high on painkillers and these drugs in the hospitals and the state I'm in. And that was relayed to me, to my mum, and witnessed by her church friends at the time. And she could believe it, none of them could believe it, that peace officer public servant agent. It said that I jumped in front of the car or stepped in front of the car. That wasn't true. So when I eventually got the ambulance records back and all the calls that was made, there was 9. Well, it was quite a lot, but specifically to that time and date, it was 9. And I remember the guardian angel lady kneeling down next to me when I got here. She was, I swear to goodness, a guardian angel. I'll never forget it. And she said, don't worry, there's witnesses around. They called the police, they called the ambulance. And she says about 9 people witnessed it. So when I got my records, it was true. 9 witnesses, but not one CCTV camera was conveniently turned off. Not one public servant police turned up, i.e., in a car accident, they would turn up or something. You know, big car accident, somebody gets it like that. But no, the ambulance crew turned up. So try to get justification for what happened there. Remedy, nothing. Nobody, ever. And I had insurance to hire lawyers, which I did at the time. And they said, oh, because of the police report said that you walked in front of the car and there's a statement from the driver. Hold on. Who's injured? The driver? His car? No. Who's permanently injured? Me. So that was done as soon as I moved in. I want to connect. It's all connected. So I didn't know all this then. And when I had my 2 beautiful cats, they're harmless. No harm to nobody around here. And the start of the campaign of Stuart, his serious demonic. I didn't know all this then. He was behind that to start it all off. And the former male that lived flat 7, and he was behind it, making up. There was no harm to my beautiful cats. They were well looked after despite my physical injuries. I had friends make sure they're okay. They were chipped and stuff at the time. You name it, they're well looked after. The old cats in the old house, I had to get rehomed quickly because what happened to me there. So it was all to traumatise me, you know, to psychologically get me in a negative way. And they did. They hired the old house. They hired about 3 or 4. Got an audio playing of evidence, the frequencies. Yeah, the brain interface technology. So all this past stuff. How, if you've got 9 witnesses that witnessed the driver did jump the curb and back wheel ran my left foot over, and he caused it, and I did not, and it got covered up. What tells you about the public servants? The very key public servants. I've known certain individuals in my area in their job role for years and what they get up to in the dark side of life. About what I know about the stuff like that, what really goes on. They're going to have to answer to their maker. It's not my job to expose it. So I wasn't doing no exposés before that either. They just had to get rid of them in that way. They thought that was going to kill me off then, but it didn't. I've always had my guardian angels around me, always, just not always notice it. And when my mum passed, every one of my member of my family was at the funeral gaslighting me. Every one of them that was there. I couldn't believe how extensive this program could carry something like that off. And why would they do that? because I also thought they were going to break me psychologically, but it didn't. And because I knew, um, a spirituality point of view, what that coffin wasn't even big enough for my mum's body. You can't break someone's arms and legs of a tall lady and put it into a teenage-sized coffin. No funeral director would do that unless they're really dodgy, I tell you. But it was just an act. I carried on, and my elder brother, oh, he was a good part because he was trained in London in neuralistic programming. He worked it out the truth, and my sister, sadly. They all thought I was going to cave in when my mum passed away in July 2019, because she was the only one that helped me when she used to visit me here. She witnessed a lot of stuff that was going on, and the cats and everything. And then she started getting ill herself. She started losing hope for life. She just really just couldn't cope. She was lonely. And this is when I remember as a kid the isolation and what happened to her. And after she, I said, "You just go." And I'm glad I, at a young age, I was at the time. Because all my